The news summary, good evening. The Truth, Reconciliation and National Unity Commission held a plenary session today to discuss reparations for victims of abuse. Participants included victims or relatives of victims who were killed, tortured, forced into exile, or had their properties confiscated after 1977. They were briefed on suggestions made by a special committee on reparation for various types of abuse. Participants were given the opportunity to voice out their opinion and were able to put forward their own suggestions on how to acquire funds to cater for the recommendations made by the TRNUC. At the opening of today's plenary session, the chairperson of the TRNUC, Gabrielle McIntyre, said it was vital for the government to consider carefully the recommendations made.
The Commission believes its recommendations must be of such a nature to motivate change. There must be serious consequences for the state for violations of the human rights of their citizens if the state is to take those rights seriously moving forward. While I have, I hope, explained how the Commission's reparations policy is underpinned by a reasoned assessment of the experience of its complainants, I hope I've also made clear that there are a number of obstacles to the adoption and smooth implementation of the Commission's recommendations on reparations, especially monetary compensation. Primarily, generating political will on the part of the government for the implementation of reparations. Part of this is persuading the government that the monetary awards recommended by the Commission are affordable to the government, are grounded in reason, and that they should be implemented.
The plenary session was chaired by the Reparation Focus Committee comprising of 6 members, the chairperson being Barry Lane and Régis Foncourt, the vice chairperson. The committee was put together by TRNUC about a month ago. All members are complainants who have registered cases with TRNUC. Mr. Foncourt said the plenary session today went well.
The meeting was called to get ideas from the victims about compensation or reparations, as we call it. And those will be recommendations that will go in the final report, which is due on the 9th of August. We'll hit the President's desk on the 9th of August. So that meeting was especially to get their ideas, what should go into that report, the mechanisms, with regards to compensation or reparations.
And what's the next step for the committee?
The next step is we're meeting next week, Wednesday, so we're not sitting on it. So we will sift through all the recommendations that we have received today and everything else that we have received online or from people abroad. And then we will organize a meeting with the commissioners, and discuss those recommendations. We don't have a lot of time. 9th of August is not that far away, right? And the commissioners themselves, they felt that they needed victim input, because they can come with an arbitrary figure and say that this is your compensation, and the victims would disagree. So we had to call in the victims, but at the same time, we're a committee that should also be managing expectations. We all know that the country doesn't have an unlimited pot of cash or whatever, So we manage the expectations, but at the same time, we will pressure government. We will pressure government because the compensation will have to happen. If it doesn't happen, and government dismisses it out of hand, then we have other ways of making sure that it is implemented.
The FPSC has questioned the authority of the superintendent of the prison after the Auditor General had identified payment of a little over 21,000 rupees made on behalf of a former employee for damaging a hired car. This was done without the knowledge and authorization of the accounting officer. Other than the prison department, FPSC have today verified the auditor's report of 4 different entities, namely the Social Workers Council, the National Assembly Secretariat, the Police Force, and the Healthcare Agency. Head teachers of public schools across the country are being called upon to run their respective schools as a business. Around 40 head teachers from primary and secondary schools on Mahe, Prale, and Ladig are being empowered about how to achieve this goal during a 2-day workshop which was launched at the Gimorel Institute this morning. The workshop on mindset change for positive transformation for the 21st century leaders is a partnership between the Department of Employment, the Gimorel Institute, and the Ministry of Education. It is also part of activities to mark Productivity Week under the theme Productive Mindset and Attitude for a Productive Seychelles.
We need to change the mindset of each and every one, whether you're an employer, whether an employee. We are here to build their capacity, and this workshop is being organized in collaboration with the Gimorel Institute for them to understand the need to have a good mindset, to empower them with management style, skills in management style, and how to go in the 21st century leadership. There are so many things because productivity is not static. We need people to change their mindset to towards work, go back in their schools and make a difference. So at the end of the day, outcomes to have level of improvement in productivity in the school. No more business as usual.
April is International Sexual Assault Awareness Month. For this occasion, the local NGO Eris and Rape in Seychelles was on Market Street last Saturday for some awareness.
Members of End Rape in Seychelles, Eris, had one objective last Saturday, raising awareness on the problem of sexual violence in the country and bringing back this matter into the national public debate. Eris activists also made the public aware of their new online survey on the prevalence and perception of sexual harassment in the country. This survey will be online until the beginning of June and is completely anonymous. It is open to Seychellois and residents of Seychelles from 15 years old and onwards, all genders included, and the link is available on Eris social media accounts.
A site near Ile Romainville and the ex-Coast Guard base are 2 sites that has been identified for dredging and demolition work. This was during a visit where a group of 8 bidders, together with officers from the Seychelles Ports Authority, went to get an insight of the site that needs to be dredged. There is also where the old lighthouse is located and an area near the Setan Island that has been demarcated for such work.
As part of the procurement for the design and build contract for the dredging works, we've had the bidders who are interested to bid for this contract come on site for a site visit. So we took them on the boat. We went in the channel, we went in the basin, we went in the area proposed for reclamation at the Quidi Bay. We looked at all the wrecks and all the ex-Coast Guard jetty that would have to be demolished.
And that's it for the news summary. We'll be back at 8 for the Creole News Bulletin. Bye-bye for now.